Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for listening to Magic or Tragic. The Magic recently played 2 preseason games. They played the Mavericks and they played the Spurs. They lost to the Mavericks 93-90, and they lost to the Spurs, they beat the Spurs 103-98, I believe. Against the Mavericks, 3 players really stood out. Jonathan Simmons again, Vucevic. If Vucevic can return to the Vuce that we all thought should have made the All-Star team a couple of years ago, that would be big for this team. Vuce has looked pretty good and pretty consistent this preseason. He's shooting that 3 with confidence. That's a big thing for us because he's a talented passer, or he makes good decisions passing the ball. So when players are running out to Vuce or stepping out on him, that really opens up the floor, and he's made good decisions passing the ball from the top of the arc. Also, DJ Augustine, I gave him some props the last podcast because you could see he just looked different. He didn't really explode, but you could see something was different about his game. And against the Mavericks, he did explode, and he looks good. He is shooting the ball well. When I thought of DJ Augustine back when he was coming into the league, to me he was like a prober, and he could shoot the ball. He could shoot the 3, and he was quick enough to get into the paint. And that's kind of what you're seeing now. When he's at his best, he's probing in the lane. He's looking for cutters, and if the shot is presented to him, he was pretty good at knocking it down. That's the DJ Augustine I know, and that's the player we're seeing right now. So that's, if Augustine and Vucevic can play like that, that's a big deal for the Magic going forward. Hazonia was a little bit inconsistent. Simmons, again, he's the same player every night, aggressive and just trying to get it. That's how he is every night. That's how he was against San Antonio. But before I get to San Antonio, last thing on that game is Dennis Smith. He's going to be a star in this league. He's everything Magic fans thought and hoped he would be. But this is the last time I'm going to bring up Dennis Smith because he's not a Magic player, and that's just the way it is. But he's going to be a star, and I think Jonathan Isaac won't translate as fast as Smith to the NBA game. However, I think I've seen enough from Jonathan Isaac to believe that he has some star potential as well, at least all-star potential, because he's just got too many tools and skills. And if he ever gets to the point where he's playing starters minutes, he's a double-double just from stepping on the floor, block shots and all that. Anyway, that's maybe a year down the road or a little bit after that. Okay, so in Game 2, the Magic beat San Antonio, and few players I want to talk about here. The first one, Jonathan Simmons, he had 20 points, 10 assists. He has struggled a little bit shooting, but you like the fact that it hasn't affected his game. He's still aggressive. He's still shooting. When he's not hitting his shots, he's still being aggressive, taking it to the bucket, getting to the foul line, and he's playing off his aggressiveness offensively. Defensive players know he's going to be aggressive, so they're preparing for that. And when they react to him, he's making the right play. He's making the right pass. And teammates like Biyombo and others are making plays because of him and getting involved. So if you're not excited about Jonathan Simmons, get excited. The other player I wanted to talk about, I've been kind of quiet on him because there's something I wanted to see from him, and that's consistency, and that player is Aaron Gordon. Please do this all year. This is you. This is what you should be, and you should grow from this. He needs to be a little bit more controlled. Shot selection is another thing that he needs to work on. However, what you're seeing is what he needs to be for this team, And we just need to be consistent like he's been. These last 3 preseason games, he's been pretty consistent. And hopefully he's turned the corner, because if he has, again, there's a lot of players on this team who, just a small step could take this team to another level. Lastly, I want to mention a couple players. Iwundu looked like he finally broke out his shell. When Iwundu's on the floor, man, he looks so big. Like, he looks like a veteran already. His body size, he's so long. So you want him to get some confidence. You want him to get going a little bit, especially with his shooting. But he still affects the game with his intangibles. Another long, athletic defensive player. And Ken Birch, he's not filling up the stat sheet, but when he gets into the game, he's consistent with his style of game as well. He's a defensive presence. He rebounds. And when the ball comes to his hands in the paint on offense, he's not clumsy with it. He knows what to do with it. He can put it in the bucket if he needs to. And interested to keep watching him. He was under my radar. I had no clue who he was, like the most of us. So I'm glad he's on the Magic. And I'm glad that the current management has brought in this new acquisition of players, because this got me thinking that maybe the 8th seed is a possibility, and therefore I'm really looking forward to this season more than past years that I can remember. So let me know how you feel. Season's coming up, almost a week away, a little more, and I can't wait. So please make sure, continue to listen, like, dislike, leave a comment, subscribe, and as always, go Magic.